Hi, I'm Chef Steve. Welcome to the Care Kitchen, where we cook with kindness. This program is brought to you by ComForCare and At Your Side, and we come to you every Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern with our program featuring many of the recipes from the Care Kitchen Cookbook, and also just having some fun and being creative and get you to think about cooking in maybe a little bit more of a creative way, and also thinking about who you're cooking for, customizing the menu so that that person that you're cooking for is really enjoying it, and also for yourself, thinking about good quality, very nutritious ingredients. And that's what our program is today. We're going to talk about healthy snacks. And when we think of snack food, we often think of, chips and pretzels and popcorn and things of that nature, which are all good snacks. But when we're thinking of healthy snacks, we're actually thinking almost of small meals. These are small plates. And as people age and appetite becomes more diminished, and people maybe aren't as turned on about the food, a smaller plate is sometimes the way to go, and we can fill in the nutritional needs of a person by creating healthy snacks. Now, in the Care Kitchen Cookbook, we have a whole section on healthy snacks. I'm going to show you, talk about that today, and just make one of the recipes and show you what you can do. And I want to encourage you to visit ComForCare.com, and under the Senior Nutrition section, there's lots of great information, and you can also download some free recipes and ingredient information. And again, our show is here every Thursday, 1 p.m. And I encourage you to comment, ask us questions. I did get a question about last week's show, which was about smoothies. And in reference, actually, the question was, can a smoothie be a meal replacement? And a smoothie actually can be a meal replacement and could fall into the category of healthy snacks. So thank you for asking that question. And we're going to get right into our program today. And I'm going to be featuring some great ingredients and talking a little bit about the health benefits of these ingredients as well. So when it comes to healthy snacks, anything is possible. And what I mean by that is you could have a small meal. It could even be a leftover that you create in a little bit of a different way, or a small amount of a salad, or a cheese and cracker plate, or many, many things. So what we're going to do today, I'm going to show you a few different things. So in the Care Kitchen Cookbook, we have a cottage cheese dip. I've made the cottage cheese dip, and I've got it right here in a bowl. Now, what I'm going to use for this, it's a dip, so you could obviously use a cracker or a chip, but I'm going to take some mini cucumbers here, and I have them washed and ready to go, and I'm going to make up a little plate using these cucumbers as a dipping tool, okay? And you're going to get the benefit of the nutrients of the cucumber, very healthy, delicious, fresh vegetable. I'm going to cut it in a few different cuts here. What I'm going to do is I'm just cutting this. You can do anything you want. You can make a disc out of it. But what I'm going to do is make some little dipping chunks here. Okay. So I'm going to take a plate here, make up a little plate with these. Now, when it comes to cucumbers, I like a little salt on them. If someone has a salt-restricted diet, you could use a salt substitute. But I think that a little bit of salt really brings it out. And we're going to salt it up in a minute. So you see, I've got these nice little chunks here. And I'm arranging those on the plate. And we're just going to give it a little bit of salt on those cucumbers. And then we've got our dip right in the center. So we've got a very, very nice little plate of our cottage cheese dip. and our cucumbers. Now, this is a very nutritious little snack, or it could be a small meal. And really, when it comes to making sure that older adults have the proper nutrition, small meals are the way to go. Now, really, small plates are part of a lot of different cultures. And, you know, when I first saw small plates, I remember being in Chinatown in New York and going to a restaurant for dim sum. Dim sum is the Chinese version of small plates, where they actually come around with a cart and you can select from any number of little things, and they're all served on small plates. So a few of those small plates makes a meal. But that's the beauty of this when we're working with older adults and trying to find ways to make sure that they get good nutrition. If we focus on these small plates, we're really going to have some success, especially when we make them look nice. And that's a great thing. So this is the cottage cheese dip in the Care Kitchen Cookbook, along with some cucumber chunks to dip it with. So that's a great little thing. So I'm going to try one. Really refreshing. Very delicious. Really good. Well, that's a great example of a very, very simple little plate that's a meal. Healthy snack. Okay, well, that's really good. And I'm going to move this aside now, and I can enjoy it later. Move that one aside. And let's move on to our next plate. And before we do, I just want to show you something that one of the great things about these healthy snacks and small plates is that we can utilize many of the leftovers that we have, little bits of this and that. So what I've done here is I made, this is a spinach and artichoke dip. And what I did was I had some artichokes that I was using for a salad. So I had a few pieces of artichoke, and I had some spinach that I needed to use up. So what I did was I wilted the spinach just very quickly in the microwave, wilted it down, and I squeezed the water out. I chopped it up and I mixed it with a combination of some whipped cream cheese and some sour cream. Very simple. Added some onion powder, garlic powder, salt and pepper, and I've got this dip. So that's something that you can do with some of the leftovers you have and make something that's really, really delicious. So let's give it a try. I've got some of these dipper chips here, these little corn chip dippers. So let's just see what that tastes like. Very good. Let's put that one aside. So when it comes to sort of vehicles for your dip, in other words, you know, whether it be a chip or a cracker or a piece of bread, the idea is to make it easy to use. I like these corn dippers because you can actually get some of the dip or salad or whatever it is that you're dipping into. And they're a really nice chip. Okay, so let's put our chips aside for a minute, and we're going to move on now to a recipe that is called Cowboy caviar, and this is a recipe that's in the Care Kitchen Cookbook. So it's a funny name and it's kind of fun, but Cowboy caviar, of course, refers to caviar, which is very expensive, traditional caviar. So what this is a sort of inexpensive, I guess you'd call it a salad or a relish or a dip made with beans and corn. And we dip our corn chips in it or whatever you'd like to dip in it, and it becomes a really healthy snack that has lots of protein, lots of fiber, and a lot of flavor. And it's fun to make. So I'm going to make this recipe real quick. Now, I want to just point out to you a couple things. The recipes in the Care Kitchen Cookbook are a guide for you. So when you're actually going to do something, maybe you need to substitute an ingredient or you can use something else. So as an example, on this recipe, the recipe calls for black beans. I didn't have any black beans in the kitchen today, so I'm using garbanzo beans. My point is you can improvise, and it's the idea of food groups. If you think of, well, I can use pretty much any bean in this particular recipe. So I'm going to sort of improvise a little bit here today and make this up. So, or make our Cowboy caviar. So we're going to put our beans in here. I have garbanzo beans right here, and they're a very good bean. And I've got this corn. Now, I found this corn at the store the other day in the frozen section, and it's called crazy corn. And what it is white corn, yellow corn, and blue corn. And it's all mixed up in a bag of frozen corn, which is really good. So I'm going to use that. And that's just been sitting and it's just thawed out a little bit. So we're going to put our corn in there. So we've got the main bulk of our stuff in there. Let's just put this aside. Okay, now the next ingredient I'm going to put in is some red onion. I have a piece of red onion here left over from another recipe, so I'm going to utilize that. And I'm just going to quickly chop this up and put our red onion in. And that gives it a very nice color, very nice crunch and texture, and very nutritious. Onions have anti-inflammatory properties. They have lots of good nutrition, vitamins, and minerals. It's a very good, healthy vegetable. And of course, onions are in so many things. We cook with them, we eat them raw, we fry them, we make them into onion rings, all kinds of things like that. With onions, it really is truly an amazing vegetable. Okay, we've got our red onion chopped up, and I'm just going to scoop this into our bowl. Okay. Next thing I'm going to do is put in some green bell pepper. And I've got this right here. This is a piece that I had left over, was saving for this particular recipe. So this is a great thing. And I just keep these pieces of an onion or a pepper in a little Ziploc bag. And then it's there for me to use for recipes. Now, the other thing is you can prep many of these things in advance and keep them also in a little Ziploc bag, ready to go for your cooking. When you're ready to put your recipe together, you have it all together. So these are things that you can do ahead. Okay, let's put our peppers in. Okay. Next, I'm going to put in a plum tomato. I've got a nice plum tomato here, and I'm just going to dice up. And we'll put that in to our mix here. And this is going to be very delicious. Okay. Now, I will point out, too, this Cowboy caviar can also double as a salad. And, you could put this on, say, a bed of greens, and it would be quite delicious. Let me wipe my knife off a little bit here. And, okay, let's get our tomatoes in. All right. So we've got our tomatoes in there, and our onion, our pepper. We've got the beans and the corn in there. So the other thing we need is we need the dressing. So the dressing for this recipe is really very simple. It's in the Care Kitchen Cookbook along with the recipe for Cowboy caviar. It's olive oil, red wine vinegar, lime juice, a little bit of sugar, salt, pepper, and garlic powder. I've made it up in advance, and I like to do this because I like to use this dressing for any number of things. So we put our dressing on there. All right, got our dressing placed, and now we're going to just give this a mix, and we've got a delicious dish, healthy snack called Cowboy caviar. And we want to put a little bit of salt in there and a little bit of pepper. That in there. Going to put in a little fresh ground pepper, which I love. Okay, it really brings out the flavor. Okay, so we've got a great looking Cowboy caviar here. We're going to try it in just a second. Okay, that really looks good. Okay, we've got our chips right here. So I'm going to try this in a second, but before I do, I just want to show you, give you an idea of what this might look like when we're presenting it. Okay, so we take a few spoonfuls. We can put it right on the plate here if we want. Okay, and a few chips. And that makes a nice little, very healthy snack that someone can enjoy, filled with nutrition, a lot of crunch, a lot of freshness, and just a little hint of tang in the salad dressing with the lime and the vinegar. Really delicious. We're gonna give it a try right now. Let me take it out of the big bowl. There we go. Very, very good. Really delicious. Okay, so that's our Cowboy caviar. Let's put that aside. Got some nice things that we're creating over here. Okay, the next thing I want to show you is what we can do with some fruit and make a nice plate of fruit and cheese, which is always a delicious snack. It's very healthy, can be a meal replacement, and it's one of those great things. So I've got a couple of different kinds of fruit here. So I've got a kiwi. I'm going to take this kiwi. The kiwi fruit is highly nutritious, lots of vitamin C, lots of potassium, simple to prep. So I cut the ends off, and I'm just taking my knife and I'm taking the peel off, cutting down, taking the peel. Okay, we've got our kiwi. Get rid of our peel here for a sec. Use our handy towel to just wipe up a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to slice the kiwi. Get some nice slices. And it is a really, really delicious fruit. Okay, so we've got our kiwi. Place that right here. Just wipe our board a little bit. Next thing I've got some really nice strawberries. And we're going to show you a strawberry fan here in a second. These are very beautiful strawberries, I'll tell you. And I love strawberries. These, I believe, come from California, but around here in North Carolina, we will have our strawberries, our fresh strawberries, hopefully coming in soon, which I love. And that's a great thing to do, is to take a little trip to a farmer's market see all these delicious fruits and vegetables and get that nice fresh stuff and bring it back, that becomes a great little outing and really something to share with someone that you're taking care of. And I want to just remind you, this program is brought to you by ComForCare and At Your Side. And I'm here every Thursday. I'm Chef Steve here every Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern. And we're showing you some recipes from the Care Kitchen Cookbook. Visit ComForCare.com to the Senior Nutrition section, and you can actually download some recipes and some ingredient information for free there. And the whole idea is to get you sort of thinking about cooking with kindness. And that's what the Care Kitchen is all about. It's finding out what those people you're caring for, what they really like. You know, what's the favorite food? How can I make this a little more fun and engaging? And also thinking about the visual. We eat with our eyes, you know, making sure that that really looks delicious. Okay, so I'm going to make a strawberry fan here, and I'll show you this in closer detail as well. But basically, I'm making some slits in the strawberry, and then when I press it down, very simple little garnish. It fans out, and it makes it quite attractive. Okay, so I've got our strawberry here. I've got our kiwi. Let's get a plate and make up a little cheese and fruit. I've got two kinds of cheese here. One is a mild cheddar, one is a sharp cheddar. We'll take a couple pieces of this. And this snack is about 2 ounces worth of cheese and our fruit. And that makes a nice little color contrast. Okay, so now I'm just going to put our fruit on here and just make it look nice. And we've got our nice kiwi, and we've got our strawberry fan. And if we want to take another strawberry just to fill it out, because one's not quite enough. And let's get another strawberry on here. We'll make it look nice. And put that together, and it makes a beautiful little plate. Now, if we want to, we could also add a few crackers to the mix. We can always do that and put a few crackers right on here. So we've got a little healthy carb. These are a whole grain, multi-grain cracker. So we've got those, and we have a very nice little composed plate that makes just a wonderful little healthy snack. Cheese and fruit, some protein, dairy, carbohydrate in the crackers, and the delicious nutrition of the fruit. And berries are really healthy. Anything with a color like that, you know, is extremely healthy. Strawberries, raspberries, blueberries, blackberries, they're all really, really good, low carb, high nutritional content. So that's what this plate looks like. Okay, so that plate is really nice. We're going to put that one aside too. And the next thing I want to just point out is, you know, sometimes a snack, a healthy snack, can be actually in the form of a beverage. And one of the things that I really like is V8 juice or tomato juice. And, you know, I recall when I was a kid, we used to go out to restaurants occasionally, and one of the offerings was tomato juice as an appetizer. And I actually really like it and have been drinking it. I like V8 juice, which is basically tomato juice with a lot of vegetables blended in. Very highly nutritious. It's very tasty. It's very good with cheese and crackers too. And I like to put a little fresh ground pepper. And if you like, you can put a little lemon or lime. And it's very, very good. I'm going to have a little sip of my juice here. But that makes a very delicious little snack. And at the same time, you're helping to make sure that that person in your care has enough hydration in the day. Water, of course, is very important. Anything that contributes to the hydration schedule is really good. And that juice really fits the bill in so many ways. So that's really good too. I also want to point out another great snack that is something that is really considered a real treat, and that is dark chocolate. So I've got a nice dark chocolate bar here. Now this bar is 70%. And what that means is that it's not quite as sweet. And the dark chocolate, the higher the percentage, the more healthy nutrition you're going to get out of it. 70% for my taste is about the right amount because it has that dark chocolate quality and just enough of the hint of sweetness. So a serving size, 2 of these little blocks is a serving size, and I'll tell you, this is very, very good. Dark chocolate is one of the most healthy sort of sweet snacks that we could have. So if someone is craving that sweetness, that chocolate, give them a square of dark chocolate. It really does help. And it is delicious and highly nutritious. Has lots of good qualities. Dark chocolate has these anti-inflammatory qualities and lots of nutrition. So that's a good one to do as well. Okay. And so let's take a look at what that chocolate looks like, just so you know the average serving size. Okay, well, we've covered a lot of territory today. And when it comes to healthy snacking, we could go on and on and on because there's so many wonderful options. I encourage you to utilize leftovers and, find out those things that the person you're caring for really enjoys. Whether it's a family member or a client, find out what they enjoy and then work with them to create it. Get them involved in the cooking, the planning, or just watching and conversing. And there's always stories associated with foods, especially when they're your favorites and they may relate to a particular event or time or a person in your life. And it just makes it all that much more fun. Well, this is the Care Kitchen, where we cook with kindness. I'm Chef Steve. The program is brought to you by ComForCare and At Your Side. We're here every Thursday, 1 p.m. Eastern, doing our program featuring lots of recipes from Care Kitchen Cookbook and just having some fun and being creative in the kitchen and getting that thinking, like, what should I make today? What sounds good? What's available? What do I have on hand to use? And most importantly, that person that I'm cooking for, what is going to be something that they're really going to enjoy? How can I make it look nice? Really present it so that it looks very appetizing. And you'll do that for yourself too. Well, thanks very much. I encourage you to cook with kindness and visit me again in the Care Kitchen every Thursday, 1 p.m. Eastern. I'm Chef Steve. You have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for joining me.